Leicester City machine is on the march again.
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content, like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live. Thanks to our sponsors, Evron's, Follow Blinds, Pocker Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Distillers Direct, Hologram, Take Me, Nubian Co, and the Foxes Arms and Rainbows. We are live in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to Leicester Fan TV. It is Thursday once again. This is the Foxes Focus Fan Zone show. And as you can see in the title, can we break the points record? You let me know in the comments if you think we can. I've been saying it since July. What do you think? Are you starting to believe? Are you starting to believe we'll do it? Because I've been told time and time again it ain't going to happen. But let me know in the comments. We'll talk about a couple other things as well. Middlesbrough, of course. Some little murmurs about Abdul Fatawu maybe being made permanent now. But yeah, get your comments in. And this is the Foxes Focus Fan Zone show. So, as I said, welcome to Leicester Fan TV once again. It is the Foxes Focus show. Another game won on the weekend. Sorry, not on the weekend, in midweek. Another game won. One step closer to the title, one step closer to promotion, one step closer to the championship points record. Now, the championship points record is 106 points, and that was done by Reading in 2006, 2007, I believe it was. Are we going to break it? I mean, if you just to offer some perspective, at this stage of that season, Reading were only 1 point ahead of us. However, Reading did draw about 7 more games or 6 more games between now and the end of the season. So we've got 14 games left, I want to say. 14 games left. We need 10 wins from 14, basically. So if we win 10 out of the next, or 10 out of the last 14, we break the points record. But let me know what you think. We'll have a look who's here. Get your comment in. Let me know if you're here. Hi, Locks and all the Foxes supporters. Hi, Dawn. Nice to see you. Richard says Vestergaard new contract will be the best news. Absolutely. Guys, I am putting a link in the chat. So if you're watching on YouTube or X, then just click this link and it will just ask for your name and whatever, ask you to log in, and then you can come and have a chat with me and let me know your thoughts on Leicester, on everything Leicester. So as I was saying, let me know what you think to the points record that is due. We're coming up to 10 more wins and we're there. We're going to talk a little bit more about that soon. First, we've got I'll bring this comment back up here. Richard, Vestergaard new contract will be the best news. So yeah, another rumor that we've heard of is Vestergaard or Leicester opening talks with Vestergaard for a new contract. So that is the rumor today. Let me know what you think to that. Do you think that would be a good decision from Leicester? I mean, obviously Vestergaard has turned his fortunes around at the club. He has, under Rodgers, he didn't get a look in. When he did get a look in, he was really bad. We can admit that he was terrible. But under Enzo, he's turned things around. He's now, probably one of the first names on the team sheet. You look, he had a knock in the last game against, I can't remember who we played now. Ben Nelson came in. Ben Nelson did very good, but as soon as Vestergaard's fit again, he's straight back in the team, and he's too important for him to not play, basically. So, do you think that we should be offering him a new contract? Personally, I think we should. I think he's proven that he's not as bad as we thought he was this time last year, of course. So yeah, I think it's definitely worth renewing his contract. I'm just putting a link as well on Facebook, just so that anyone who's watching, just so that anyone who wants to join, sorry, the mic was muted there, just so that anyone who wants to join can. And yeah, so let me just do this for the people who want to join. There we go. Scott is in the chat. I mean, Vestergaard could be a good backup and certainly some that can help improve Nelson's development for a year, but no longer. Yeah, I mean, I suppose it does depend on the contracts that you give Vestergaard. Obviously, Leicester have been renowned for giving big contracts out to players that don't deserve them recently. So I wouldn't like to see Vestergaard be given a 3 or 4 year contract, maybe a 2 year, maybe a 1 year. John Perfect Timing here has said give Vestergaard an extra year extension. So that'll be interesting to see if we do it that way. However, he might himself say, actually, I'm getting offers from somewhere else, because he might well get offers from another lower Premier League team for a longer contract. And, Vestergaard, he's not old, but he's not the youngest. And as we all know, footballers, when they're coming towards the end of their career, they prefer the bigger contracts to, secure their money, secure their future. Can't blame them really, because we'd probably do the same, So yeah, Mike Rook one says Vestergaard is good. It was Brendan sapping all the good out of him. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, just to benefit the doubt to Brendan Rodgers, I mean, it wasn't like Vestergaard got slowly worse. Vestergaard was very bad from the minute he stepped through the door. I thought you might disagree with that. But I thought he was, yeah. But anyway, regardless, it's in the past. He's turned things around and he's looking good now. So I think if anyone out of him and let's say Nacho, who's also out of contract, Vestergaard deserves it more, deserves the new contract. But yeah, guys, keep getting your. I know you're getting your comments in about Vestergaard. Let me know. Get your comments in about the points record because that is the title of the video. Do you think Leicester will break the points record? We need 10 wins out of the last 14 games. The current record is held by Reading at 106. And at this stage of their season, they had won one game more than us. So they were 3 points ahead of us, or maybe a few more points ahead of us, because I think they lost less and drew more. But between now, when I'm saying they only won one, they only had won one more than us. They actually then went on to draw about 6 of their last 14 games. So we can catch them for sure. Dawn says here, test when we play Leeds and Southampton. I think it's going to be a big test, Dawn. Obviously, we have Leeds next Friday night live on Sky Sports, just like the previous game we played against them and the previous game against Southampton, of course. I'm not worried about Southampton, if I'm honest with you. I think Leeds are the better side. I think Leeds are a better team than Southampton. I just think Southampton have gone on an amazing run. Leeds, just the way they play, they have more of a calamity in them, which is why they've dropped more points than Southampton recently. But I mean, Southampton's loss against Bristol City shows that they're as vulnerable as us in Leeds to a mistake. Are Southampton wearing out? Have they hit a wall? They've been playing high press football. I know they've been playing very possession-based football and not exactly like us, but similar in certain ways. But they do press high as well. So have they hit a wall? Maybe. They conceded quite a few goals. 3 goals was it against Huddersfield as well on the weekend, and then they conceded 3 to Bristol City. So that's 6 goals in 2 games against Huddersfield and Bristol City. That's not good enough if you want to win the championship or get promoted in the autos. I think Leeds are at their best now. I think Leeds are just going to carry on now at this level. But yeah, Richard says, who gives a shit about points record as long as we go up champs and get a few players on contracts? Well, the thing is, Richard, I give a shit because we've already won the league, in my opinion, and I've been the same since August or July. I haven't even thought about winning the championship because I think we'd already done it. We're the best team in this division. We've got the best players in this division, and we've got the best results in this division. So That's why I'm thinking about the points record, and I think we'll do it because 10 wins out of 14 games. I think we've shown that form all season, so I think we'll do it. Scott says Leeds have a better start on 11, but Southampton have a better squad. For me, Southampton nick second place. I hear what you're saying about squad depth. Absolutely. I mean, they brought in David Brooks as well from Bournemouth in the January window, which was a big signing for them. A good sign-in. He did well in the Huddersfield game. You think he got 2 or 3 assists coming off the bench at half time. So he did very good. And then you look around, you've got Che Adams, you got Adam Armstrong. You've got Jane. I can't remember his name now. The one they signed from Man City on loan. Sorry, on permanent. Shea. I can't remember his name, unfortunately. Shea Charles, was it Shea Charles? I want to say it's Shea Charles. It might be, that might not be. But yeah, so both teams are very good, and all three of us are very good. Leeds, Leicester, Southampton. It's hard to look past all three going up, although we all know when it comes to the playoffs, anything can happen. I fancy an Ipswich to over two games, like 2 legs. I fancy them to cause an upset in the playoffs. And who knows what happens at Wembley then. So we just don't know. No, we have the best squad in the Championship. Yeah, I think I said that, Andres. Apparently, Ndidi and Iheanacho won't be signing new contracts, but then again, not reliable sources quoting it. It don't surprise me. I would be surprised if if Iheanacho signed. I think I would be very, very, very surprised by that. However, if Ndidi signed, I wouldn't be shocked by that because he's put in good performances all season. So I think he's another one that warrants a new contract. But then again, it's down to if they actually want it or not. Do they want to sign on for another year or another 2 years? I don't think we'll be giving Iheanacho one. I can't see it, if I'm honest. So yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens there. I think we should offer Ndidi one. I think he's done well. He's playing in a role that is unfamiliar to him in that advanced state role, and he's played really well all season. One of our best players this season, for sure. Sad that he got injured in January. He missed the African Cup of Nations, of course. But we're still without him for a couple of weeks or a few weeks, which is it's a big hit for any team in. Well, even if we were in the Premier League, it's a big hit not having him on the bench at least. So definitely in this division, it's a big miss. Dawn says, hope Wilf stays. Yeah, I do as well. I do think he enjoys being at the club, if I'm honest. I do. So it will be a miss if he goes. But, again, is he vital? Will he be vital for us in the Premier League? I'm not so sure. Keep getting your comments in, guys. I'm still not seeing many comments about the points record. I know there was one from Richard, but do you think we can win 10 out of 14 games? Or maybe I rephrase the question to you. I ask it in a different way. We have 14 games left this season. How many do you think we win out of those 14? Let me know that. I have got an idea for us, what we can take part in right now. Let's have a look. Table. Let's just bring something up here in the background, and we can have a little look. So, sorry about the wait, guys. Just gonna bring something up here. Is this what I'm looking for? I think this is what I'm looking for. Okay, great. So I'm going to get Chris on in a sec as well, and he can help me out with this. And we're going to basically try and predict the last 14 games of the season and see what points tally that leaves us on. So let's see what happens there. Sorry if I'm freezing, guys. By the way, it's just a little bit laggy for a second there. Okay, Richard says, we are the best. Agree. Contract, I wouldn't give Kell or Wilf a new deal. It's time to part there. Comes a time when players have been at a club too long. I would agree with that. Scott says wouldn't be the end of the world if we won 9 games and a few draws. Yeah, I mean we would break the points record there as well. Actually, if we do it like that. Right, let's get Chris on anyway. Let's get him into the show. Hello, Chris, mate. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Very good, thank you, mate. Very good. So we're just talking about the points record, Chris. What are your thoughts on it, mate? Do you think we're going to do it? We need 10 wins out of the last 14. Will we do it?
It's the Pope Catholic. We're going to absolutely smash it. I think with this, it's sort of it's laughable, really, because when we got relegated, everybody was saying it's a hard league to get out of. It will take a few years to get back up again, and we're proving no. If you got the taste and you got the valor, you can easily go back up again.
Yeah. I couldn't agree with you more, mate. I completely agree. Obviously, it's we are in a good position with the squad that we've got. But people keep forgetting that we did lose big players. Even if he was, even if we weren't the biggest fan of his. Well, even if we weren't the biggest fan of him towards the end of the season, you've got Tillemans, who is a very good player. Let's be honest, he's a good player.
He won a CFA Cup, and I'll always say that.
Yes,
won a CFA Cup.
Yeah, absolutely. Maddison, obviously, again, another great player, ripping it up for Spurs. Harvey Barnes, not quite ripping it up for Newcastle, but I think he'll get there. He just had some injury problems recently. So yeah, I'm just gonna see, because every time when I try this, it's lagging. So I'm just gonna try it one more time to see if I can bring this web page up and see if we can start a little prediction thing here. I
actually remember your comment, sort of saying like, in effect, we got Leeds, we got Southampton. We could in effect still lose those matches and still break the record. So,
exactly. I put a tweet out yesterday saying we can lose the next 4 games and we could still break the points record. How crazy is that? You just think, wow. I'm not going to bring up this predictor thing because it is lagging too much. However, what I will quickly do is just bring up the championship table from 2006. So I've got it here in front of me. So let me just load that up, and I press a couple buttons like a little tech whiz over here. Let's try that, and
technologic,
and let's try that. There we go. So that is the championship table from 2005, 2006, or maybe 2006, 2007. I can't remember which one it is. They finished on 106 points. They only lost 2 games that season. But if you look at the draws, they drew 13. Now, again, I'm pretty sure at this stage, they had won one more game than us. However, they had only drawn 7. So they drew 6 more games out of their last 14. So, and they went on to win it. Obviously, at the minute, we have lost more games than them, but we've drawn a lot less. Even 8 wins, I don't know the full maths. I'm not great with maths, but even 7 wins and whatever, and however many draws, or 9 wins and 3 draws, that's enough. It's enough to 9 wins and 3 draws in the last 14 games is enough to win us the points record. And I think now, mate, I'm at the stage where I'm saying I can't see us not breaking it. I think it's dead set now, if I'm honest. Looking at what we've got left, and 2 really hard games, the really hard ones at Leeds and Southampton, and then you've got some teams that we've struggled with. I mean, we struggled a little bit with Middlesbrough, didn't we? We lost that game, was it the free kick where Sam Greenwood scored that free kick? But let's be honest, we're a better team than we were then. And also, in that game, we could have won it on another day quite easily. So I'm not concerned about those games really. But initial thoughts? I know you've already spoken a little bit about it, Chris, but just looking at that table there, mate. I mean, do you think we're going to finish on a higher points total than that? Surely.
Oh, 100%, 100%. I mean, I sort of worked out the maximum we can get. I think I worked out was 120. That's the very max, and that's obviously if we win all the remaining games. Now, taking into account the fact that we've got, as you say, Leeds and we've got Southampton, those aren't going to be easy wins. I know I've been saying all season it's going to be an easy win. It's going to be an easy win. This weekend will be an easy win, no doubt about it. But next week, as I said, we got Leeds. That's the first one of the toughies, so to speak. So even if we get a draw, I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
So as long as we don't give them, as long as we don't sort of give them points, as I said, a draw would be perfectly fine. So I could still see us getting out of the 120 maximum. I could still see us getting like 114. That's bearing in mind if we lose to Leeds and Southampton, and that would still be enough to completely smash the record. So, yeah, definitely we can get this, no doubt.
Oh, all right. Well, let's get Jono in because Jono's waiting patiently. So we'll bring Jono in. Here he is. Hello, Jono, mate. How are you?
Hi, guys. Yeah, really good. Thank you.
Good. So you heard what we were talking about there, mate. Before I'm not just going to ask you outright, are we going to break the points record? I'm going to say to you, how many games do you see us winning out of the remaining 14?
Well, the way we're going, probably at least 10, I would think. We've got some tricky games in there. So there's likelihood we'll pick up some draws. I can't see us losing many, I'll be honest with you. Maybe we might, in the last 14, maybe lose 2 as a ratio. That's what I reckon. So maybe a couple of draws. So we can afford to lose 14 points out of the remaining, however many are remaining, isn't it?
13 points so 14 points we would be level with them, I think. Yeah. Right. So we would be level with Reading.
So if we lose a couple and draw 2 or 3, that's losing probably 8 points. So I think we're still on for it, frankly. We can drop 14 or 13 points, we can drop and still break the record. And so if we lose 2 or 3, that's 9 points, 6 to 9 points, and then draw a few. You could afford to draw a couple as well. So yeah, I think the easy answer is that I think we're on for it, to be honest. We could lose to Southampton and Leeds and probably draw a few more and then win the rest. So I think 10 points. 10 wins would get us where we need to be, isn't it? It's another 30 points.
I mean, in terms of the automatic promotion, absolutely. Again, we sort of worked out based on everybody winning, which is impossible. But based on everybody winning, we would be sort of confirmed as promoted with 5 games left. Now, hopefully, of course, we'll be way before then. But at the same time, at the moment, it's still five games with 5 games remaining. That should easily, and that I believe was, I think I worked out that was middle. No, it was a match in April. I think it was mid-April when we would be confirmed. Hopefully, of course, we will. But at the end of the day, if we break the record, that doesn't really matter. As long as we go back up, that's all we're asking for. Straight back up.
So if we're looking at ratios of points, I've just worked it out. We've got 14 games to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
42 points remaining.
And so we could lose 14 points in those 14 games. So that's getting an average of 2 points a game. So far this season, we're on an average of 2.4 points a game.
Yep.
So if you carry on the same ratio, then we should smash it. So we'd have to have a little drop off really to have 2 points a game for the remaining 14 points. And that's still a decent amount of points, but we've been averaging more than that, way more than that for the rest of the season. So,
and we're only six wins away from Reading. Six more wins, and we've already equaled Reading in terms of the amount of wins they had in that record season.
Yeah.
So, and so I can easily see us getting at least 6 more wins. And let's say, even not taking into account these in Southampton, we've also still got teams at the bottom of the table like QPR. Now don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that those we'll absolutely thrash those guys, but we should. But knowing Leicester, we do sort of think we're going to win, and then we just sort of park the bus, shall we say? But
Well, yeah, I mean, it's crazy that it's still mathematically possible for two teams to break that points record. I mean, I
yeah.
think it might even be I don't know, maybe not three, because Leeds and Southampton play each other on the last day. But Leicester and Leeds, for example, they could both break the points record, which is crazy. And it's mad though, John, really, isn't it? Because it was only about a week ago we were saying that, well, Southampton looked the most likely to push us all the way, if you had to pick, between the other teams in the league. But Leeds just look a lot better now. I think I think they've hit their peak at the moment. I think they're probably at their best. It was always going to happen. A lot of people predicted Leicester to start slow and then get better, which you could probably say about the performances. That was the case, but in terms of results, we've done the same that we have all year, right? We've picked up the amount of points we are now all season, pretty much. Besides a few losses here and there. So, do you see who's in second place for you at the minute? Obviously Southampton still have a game in hand over Leeds, so if they win that, they go above Leeds. But who's your money on if you had to put some money
I
on it?
still think Southampton. It could be either, frankly, but I think Southampton have been on such an amazing run. I think it was only a matter of time before they would lose a game, which happened the other night. So I think that they'll probably reset like we do when we have lost a game or two. We reset and then they've gone again. And I think that probably Southampton have shown enough quality that they'll do that reset and go again. So I still think that they probably will they'll nick the second place, especially as they've got the game in hand as well. But frankly, I think that all of them will push towards the 100-point mark. I think there could be three teams on the 100-point mark, easy. And I predict that we'll probably get somewhere between 110 and 115. I think if we carry on the ratio that we're on at the moment, we'll get 112 points.
There's still a possibility. The maximum we get is 120. So
yeah, I mean that would be crazy. I mean, look, lads, let's be honest. It is quite possible we win every single game between now and the end of the season. It is quite, it is doable. And the only 14 games, winning 14 in a row. We've already won 7 was it 7 in a row we've just won? Or
10 out of 12. I know that's the. Yeah, I think in a row, I think it's about 7. Yeah,
7. I think maybe in a row. If it is that's 21 wins in a row. We'd need to get to win every game between that. But even that aside, going unbeaten to the end of the season is definitely a possibility as well. So, last question, guys. I want to ask, and open to everyone in the comments as well. This is a different type of question. I wanted to ask who you think has been our player of the season so far, and it's really difficult because it's really difficult every week to pick a man of the match, right? It's really difficult to just do that, let alone player of the season. I mean,
it's really watching.
Oh yeah, Daka, yeah. No, the obvious ones for me that stick out are obviously you've got Winks, you've got Vestergaard, Dewsbury Hall, Mavidi. Yeah, all of them.
Ricardo, I think.
Ricardo, absolutely. I'm going to just say straight away, in my opinion, I think it's Dewsbury Hall, and I think that's just because of the numbers alone. If you look at the numbers, he's got 10 goals and 11 assists, I want to say.
Yeah.
Which is crazy numbers for a midfielder. I know it's a drop off in quality, but you can say that about everyone. You can say about Somerville for Leeds, who's been really good and whatever. But I'm gonna go Dewsbury Hall. I'll come to you first, Jono. Who are you saying?
Yeah, I mean you can't go much wrong with saying Dewsbury Hall. I would say Ricardo though, because he's probably my favourite player over many seasons. He's just a touch of class. He's a Rolls Royce at this sort of level. But you could give it to him, Winks, KDH, Vestergaard as well is a good shout. And I think giving him player of the season would be fantastic based on where he was at the start of the season. But yeah, for me, Ricardo, it's just been outstanding, I think, especially as the change of the role that he's had from going right back to playing in midfield. It's just shown his versatility. He's shown he's just quality footballer. And I'm glad that he's had a full season back and he's fully fit again. And I'm just really chuffed for him because when he got injured a couple of times a few years ago, I was gutted for him because he was such a good player for us.
Well, just before you give us yours, Chris, just talking of Ricardo, I don't know if you saw this in the week, guys, but Ricardo has played more games this season than he has in any other season, which is crazy because I think at the start of the season we were probably thinking, oh God, Ricardo, if Ricardo gets injured, which is likely, from recent history, we're going to be in a bit of trouble. But he's stayed fit. I don't think he's missed a game because of injury at all. I think Justin missed a few, but Ricardo hasn't. And obviously, it's just the terrible luck that we had over the last few years with ACLs. It all started with Ricardo. I think it was in that Villa game before we the game before COVID, the one we won 4-0. Actually, it was a tackle from Grealish, I think, that did his ACL, and then
was it the Liverpool game where he got
and then it was a Liverpool
again?
game he got done again. Yeah, I don't know if that was his ACL or if it was his ligament. It was something. It was a different ligament, I think. But again, it was that youngster who Tyler Morton, who now plays for I want to say Blackburn, but I could be wrong. But yeah, so yeah. I hear what you're saying, Ricardo. I think he fits that role perfectly. I think Maresca said that he wants someone agile in that role. Twist and turn and distribute the ball well. And yeah, he's been one of the better players this season. Chris, go on then, mate. Your player of the season.
Oh, it's hard because I have sort of like a most improved person. That's Vestergaard all day long.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of like player of the season, I also believe it's our signing of the season by far, Harry Winks.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's been absolutely brilliant. All right, he made a little error on Saturday. It didn't cost us too much, thankfully. But all players are human. At the end of the day, we all make mistakes. But Harry Winks has been by far the most consistent player we've had. He's really known his role. He's gone back when we needed him. He's gone forward when we needed him. He set up some absolutely brilliant goals. And scored a couple himself. He's been absolutely brilliant. No, Winks by far is player of the season for me.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's so hard because we can barely pick a man of the match. And yeah, if Reedy was here, I think he'd be saying Daka. But
despite the fact that Daka hasn't even played for half the season.
Well, I'd say he's player of 2024. I would say that's fair enough. I think it's fair to say he scored the most goals, for us this in 2024. So that's fair enough. All right then. Well, what were you going to say, Jono?
And he's been at AFCON as well. So
yes, yeah, exactly. But no, come the end of the season, we'll do we'll have to do an award show where we give our awards out, goal of the season and player of the season, all of that.
Goal of the season. I'm sorry. There's one goal that stands out, and it's going to be way too much to beat it.
Justin.
In my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Ricardo goal on the weekend is up there for me.
Yeah.
And the Winks goal. Remember the Winks goal against QPR? That was a good strike.
It was a good strike, but I'm sorry, JJ's was just pure.
Yeah,
class.
I hear what you're saying.
Pure class. It's going to take a lot to beat that.
Yeah. Well, who knows? We're going to score a lot more goals between now and the end of the season, so we'll have more to pick from. Finally, score predictions for Middlesbrough. Jono, you first, mate. Go on. What are you saying?
I think it's a tricky one. This. I want us to win, but I think it'll be narrow, probably 2-1. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's a draw.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying. Chris is going to say easy win, and I do agree with him. I think it's going to be an easy win too. But
right.
I'm going 2-0. So Chris, what are you saying?
No, I do believe Middlesbrough will be an easy win because they've got nothing to fight for. Let's face it. I don't think they could. They can get in playoffs, but it would take a lot to get them in there. They're pretty safe from relegation-ish. So I would say that they're not. That's far out of it. No, I'm going to go for. I would say 3-0, but knowing the fact that we always concede last minute, I'm going 3-1.
3-1. As long as we don't give away a free kick for Sam Greenwood again,
or a penalty.
Yeah, that would be great. But yeah. All right then, guys. Thanks for joining anyway. Much appreciated. And feel free to join next Thursday as well, where we'll have another win, and we'll have Leeds as well on Friday, won't we? So we can talk about that next week. Easy win. Yeah, I don't think so. Not quite. All right, guys. Thanks for joining. Speak to you soon. Cheers, Jono. Cheers, Chris. Final comments on the board. Get your comments in. Scott says, I'm going for Fatawu. I get KDH, Winks, Vestergaard, but I think Fatawu has been such a flair and exciting player. Tom Hawkeye says, before you go, I'd like to say that 7 of our next 14 games are at home. David says, I honestly think all the players have done well not to get injured, apart from Ndidi. Normally, the new training ground is a curse. The backline has been so much better this year. Granted, it's not in the Prem. Roy says 2-0 Leicester versus Middlesbrough. David says 2-1. And Scott says 4-1 to City, to Leicester City. So, guys, as always, thanks for joining. Thanks for getting your comments in. It's much appreciated. Those of you watching on YouTube, if you can, please hit the subscribe button. It'd be much appreciated. It's free and it takes 2 seconds of your time. I would very much appreciate that. If you hit the like button and the subscribe button, Leicester will break the points record. We might even go unbeaten all for the rest of the season. Let me know. Let me know. But yeah, please hit the subscribe button and I'll catch you next Thursday. Jamie from the Fox's Arms will be live as well here on Sunday morning at 10 o'clock to review the Middlesbrough win. Yes, that's right. It's going to be a win. In a bit. Thank you.
Thanks for watching Leicester Fan TV. Thanks to our sponsors, Everod's, Barlow Blinds, Booker Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Distillers Direct, Hologram, Take Me, Nubian Cow, The Fox's Arms and Rainbows. Run by the fans, for the fans. Follow us on socials at Leicester Fan TV and visit leicesterfantv.com for all the latest news, views and videos.